Hello and welcome to the channel. In this video we'll be taking a look at three of the museums on the island: the Windmill Museum, the Cheese Museum and the Salt Museum. Here we are in the centre of the island on the outskirts of Tiscamanita. Here we are visiting the Milling Museum. The entry fee for an adult is €4 and for a child €2.50. If you would like to visit all three museums, there is a combined ticket which makes it a little cheaper. I will leave a link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on screen. There is no car park, parking is on the street, but as you can see it's very quiet and we had no problem parking. The entrance is through the shop where you can also buy tickets. I will take a look at the shop a little later. The museum is set in a traditional Canarian house arranged around a central courtyard. The first room is a kitchen. Here dried maize would be toasted and hand ground to make the cornmeal used to make gofio. You can have a go at hand milling yourself. I've got my hands full with the camera, so I'm being ably assisted by my husband Howard.
I'll do for you.
Across the courtyard are the toilets. Let's take a look. Well, here are the toilets. Looks like there are two of them. Very on brand, quite rustic. But as you can see, there's enough hand paper towel there, soap dispenser, clean toilet, lots of loo roll, pretty much what you'd expect. The museum is set over 2 floors and explores the history of milling on the island and the evolution from domestic hand milling to the introduction of windmills in the 18th century. The museum is quite small, but it has lots of artefacts, information boards and video presentations. When we visited, there were a few people wandering around, but it wasn't busy, so you could get to see everything quite easily. The views from the second floor are quite spectacular, and from here we can see the windmill. Let's go and see that next. And here we are at the windmill. This one is from the 19th century and has been restored. It still works, the sails still turn and the machinery still works. For a few days each year, the windmill is set in motion and cereal is ground to make the special gofio flour. Here is the storage room at the bottom. Originally, there would have been a trapdoor in the ceiling to allow the sacks of flour through. As you can see, it's very quiet. It's lovely. Apart from my friend Jackie wandering about, I've got this windmill to myself. There are a lot of steps going up this windmill, so I would say you do need sensible shoes. And if you're tall, you will need to duck quite a bit. Well, this is going to be a bit tricky. No handrail, and I am filming, so one-handed up here. And here we are at the business end of the windmill. All nice and quiet at the moment. I imagine it is very noisy when it is working though. And here we are back in the shop. We had a good look round. There's lots of locally produced foodstuffs and handicrafts, and included in the price of the tour is a sample of freshly made gofio, which was very nice, and we bought a bag of the gofio flour. It is cheaper in the supermarkets, but it's nice to support the local enterprises. We spent a very pleasant 30 minutes walking around this particular museum. This is not a destination tourist attraction, but there are other things to see in the area. A 20-minute drive away is the Verde Aurora Biofarm, where we just had a lovely tour and tasting. A video review of our visit is on the channel. A 25-minute drive north takes you to Betancuria, a lovely village in the mountains. Again, another video on the channel. A 25-minute drive east takes you to the sea caves at Ahoy, closed when we visited due to rough sea conditions. A 10-minute drive north is the Cheese Museum, and that's where we're going next. Just a 10-minute drive from the Windmill Museum and we've already arrived at the Cheese Museum. Parking is just off the road and there's plenty of it and it's free. And here's the entrance. If you don't want to go to the museum and just want to visit the cafe, you can, and the cafe is just on your left. Although be warned, there are no toilets, those are through in the museum. Just beyond the windmill is the ticket office and the shop. The entrance fee for an adult here is €4 and for a child €2.50. With a combined ticket, that is slightly cheaper. And here we have another lovely shop with lots of souvenirs and local foodstuffs, including, of course, cheese. The museum is housed in several buildings. Before we take a look, let's check out the toilets. Modern, clean, well equipped, very nice. And here we are in the first room, which is lots of fun and explains how this volcanic island was formed. And out through the lava tube, we're into another area which is dedicated to the fauna and flora of the island. This large modern building is dedicated to the history and production of goat's cheese.
Por diferentes fases. En el 100% de las queserías, el
The views from on top of the museum are absolutely spectacular. And, as you can see, once again, it's lovely and quiet. At the back of the museum is a cactus garden, so that's where we're going next. This garden was created in 1997, so it's around 28 years old, and some of these cacti have grown quite large. I'm not quite sure which one it is, but one of these species of cacti was imported from the Americas in the 1800s to help with the production of cochineal, as the cochineal beetle fed on the cactus. Dried and ground cochineal beetles produce a natural dye. As you can see, the cactus garden is lovely and peaceful. We've got it all to ourselves. After the cactus garden, we thought we'd go and take a look at their windmill. The steps are quite narrow, but the handrail feels a little more secure than the one to the windmill at the Milling Museum. I feel as though I'm getting déjà vu. This is exactly the same as the previous windmill, and once again, I've got it all to myself. And to finish off our trip, we went to the Café to grab a quick coffee. This is a lovely building, and obviously inspired by the windmill. We spent an hour here and had a very pleasant time. It's an easy walk around the museum and the cactus garden, and the shop is lovely, well worth a visit if you're in the area. Here we are at the Salt Museum at Salinas del Carmen, just 3 kilometres south of Caleta de Fuste. There is a large free car park. The shop is free to enter and sells local foodstuffs and souvenirs. The museum is open daily. The entrance fee for an adult is €6, but of course this is discounted with the combined ticket. Here is the salt, and we took a big bag home with us. At the back of the shop is a corridor that leads to the public toilets. Let's take a look. The toilets are modern and clean. There was hand soap and lots of loo roll. From the shop is the entrance to the museum. The first room is dedicated to the history of salt making in the Canary Islands. The second room explains how the salt is harvested and processed. There's a small exhibition of tools and possessions of a typical salt worker. After the museum, we headed outside to see the salt flats. Here's the channel that funnels the sea spray into the collecting pools. Apparently sea spray makes better salt. This magnificent 19.5 metre long skeleton belonged to a young female fin whale. She was found dead in April 2000. She had become entangled in old fishing nets and was unable to feed. Here is the warehouse that the salt is stored in. The salt here is not washed or bleached and is totally natural. This pile outside is being discarded as it is contaminated with mud and earth. After our walk around, we were quite thirsty, so we went to the little bar on site. It's basic and small, but it's charming and the drinks were reasonably priced. The Salt Museum is not the most exciting of attractions, but we really did enjoy a quiet, calm, peaceful, relaxing walk around. Well, that's the review of all 3 museums. All 3 are worth visiting if you're in the area. If you do wish to visit all 3, then the combined ticket is well worth considering because of the discount. I will leave a link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. Check out our other Fuerteventura hotel and attraction reviews on the channel. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.